She's calling you fake and phony.
Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Blissfully Single Bean. I'm your homegirl Bean, and yes, I'm your blissfully single one. Listen, coming through with a ready to love review, and to hell with you and Miss Monique. I'm trying to keep my language clean because my son is eating lobster tail right next to me. We're like grilling. He said bussin' respectfully. Listen, we've been grilling all day. So it's like, I got to put up this ready to love review because it was a great episode, despite what my friend said. My friend was like, oh, I watched the episode. It was okay. I'm like, no, that episode wasn't okay. It was giving. It was giving. Alexis, I don't like you like that. But you gave. Renisha, you gave. Joelle. But yes, I am out here just chilling, just enjoying life. And it's like, all right, before the sun goes down, let me get this review up. I'm not even using notes because usually, I'm not an A-type personality, but I want to know what I'm going to say. So I have my notes in front of me. I'm going to freestyle it. And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, then I will never post this video. Episode starts with the whole confrontation between David and Liz. And just like I said, the both of them are trying to talk, are trying to get something out. And like I said with my last review, it's like the whole thing is like, I'm going to break up with you and I know it's over, but I want to get it out first. That's exactly what it was, because we come to find out that David is self-eliminating. And Liz is like, well, that's how I know you're not ready to love. You're not even giving me a chance to talk. You're not being a gentleman. But, David won that battle because he got it out. She was like, you're self-eliminating? You didn't even say anything to me. And David's like, gotcha, bitch. But I have to say, Naya's exit from Ready to Love was the most trash exit to ever exist. But I have to say, David's exit was the most immature exit I have ever seen in my life. It's just like, you're just a big ass kid. Like, you knew Liz wasn't feeling you that much. You knew Liz was gonna let you go, and you wanted to get it out before she got it out. I'm like, all right, okay, David. So David's done. He's self-eliminated. David, he's walking out of a restaurant. He says, please, no questions. No questions. David, what do you mean, no questions? That's the name of the game. Like, you're on the show. And if you're eliminated, you're supposed to be asked questions. So I'm like, David is flossing up here like he's like a major celebrity, like, John Gotti or something. Like, no. If John Gotti says no questions, it's no questions, my G. That's it. But yeah, David, it's not about no questions. It's your job. David says he's self-eliminated because he's a man of God, and the enemy is trying to place a trap for him. Really, David? Is that what it is? I hate when people bring God into their bullshit, and that's exactly what David did. David, was the enemy setting a trap for you when you went through the 25 plus steps to be on the show? Was the enemy setting a trap for you when you saw Liz and you saw her spirituality and you were attracted to that and you wanted to get to know her? Man, David, man. So, David's gone, but of course we know that Ron is not surviving. Ron and Alexis go back and forth, child, and Alexis lets Ron know that he is not ready to love. Ron says, listen, you made a big mistake. You see, you ain't smart. Like, see, you done fucked up. See, shout out to Menace to Society. See there? Ron said, you see there? You done fucked up. Alexis Fly was like, you see, this is why I can't like gel with you, because you condescending, and I don't do condescending. What you ain't gonna do is talk down to me. Ron threw up the peace signs. All right, the guys get together. It's a women's elimination week. So Tommy lets the guys know, cash trip. Everyone's going to, what was it? Where was everyone going? They were going away to a retreat or something. They were going, I'm sorry. It's been a lot of Pinot Grigio today, some rosé, I'm out enjoying the fire and everything. So anyway, they were going away. They're having a cash trip. And Tommy said, take this time to really understand the women that you are connecting with and get a firm understanding of who you want to be with, because you don't really know someone until you live with them. And them going away together for a few days is kind of like the living situation. So I'm like, all right, Tommy, All right, I get it. They get to this beautiful getaway, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I'm looking like, I need a vacation. Is there any way I can get on this show? I'm not looking for love. I'm just looking for a free vacation. But child, I digress. They get there. The men are talking. The women are talking. And there gets to a point where Joel is talking to Vernicia in front of everybody. And Joel takes this opportunity to express that Vernicia is his number one. Now, this doesn't sit well with Amber. And before I go further, I'm going to have to say, I don't like Amber. I've never liked Amber. Since the first, or I think it was the first episode, when she called herself trying to get to know someone and she was berating him and she was questioning him like he was a witness on a damn stand. I'm like, Amber, I don't like you. I don't like the way that Amber handled her situation with AJ. She tried to get AJ voted off because AJ wasn't feeling her like that. No. Girl, I'm reading the Twitters and you are the fan favorite, but this blissfully single being chick right here, I don't like you. And this scene further gives me validation why I don't like you, Amber. Because Joel, is talking to Vernicia, and Vernicia's like, well, who's your number one? She's flossing in front of her friends, in front of, the other girls in the situation. And Joel is like, you all day, every day, and baby twice on Sunday. So, Vernicia's hyped. But then Amber is seething and is obviously bothered in the corner. And Amber's like, wait a minute. Joel, when asked, said that he would, Kyra is his number one. He would leave with Kyra if he had a choice. And Vernicia needs to know that. Why does Vernicia need to know that, Amber? Because, Amber, you're looking like a hater. And I'm not sure where this hateration is coming from. Is it because you went out with Joel, you gave him a dry ass kiss on the cheek and he never called you back? I'm just trying to understand where this hateful energy from Amber is coming from, which is exactly what it was. It was hateful energy because you telling Vernicia exactly what was up or blowing up Joel's spot, that had nothing to do with you. And quite frankly, it wasn't in your place. If you see that Vernicia and Joel are in a good place, then why are you trying to blow that up? Child, but you did. I'm not starting over again. So Amber says, while Joel is right there, hold up. Joel, when Tommy asked you who would you leave with, didn't you say Kyra? And of course, Vernicia is in her feelings. And she should rightfully be in her feelings. And Joel's trying to explain, well, let me tell you something. You dig? He's from New Orleans. But who says you dig like that? Lorenz Tate says you dig. And he's from Chicago. I'm just trying to wonder if the you dig colloquialism is regional or is it just, I don't know. But anyway, Joe was like, you dig. The reason why I said Kyra's name is because she, we were having a situation. We had a miscommunication. And because of that miscommunication, I said Kyra at that time. Vernicia's pissed. Joel doesn't understand why Vernicia's pissed. Joel, you really don't understand why Vernicia's pissed? Vernicia's pissed is because you're doing some fuck boy shit. If we have a disagreement, that doesn't mean that, and we have a connection, that means that we work through the disagreement. It doesn't mean that's like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna go with the next chick that I've never dated, I didn't get to know, and I didn't have as strong as a connection with, just because, I'm pissed at you in the moment. Vernicia's trying to explain this to Joel. Joel just does not get it. Everyone's talking about it. And Chris gets to the point where he talks to Joel and says, listen, you have to understand where the girl's coming from. She is pissed. And you have to know, you threw out another woman's name when you guys were supposed to be simpatico, on the up and up, it's like, Joel, what are you not understanding? It's like, initially I love Joel's story, he's the widower, but I do see that Joel is Joel's running game. And Vernisha, I know it's a show. And I know you need to connect with someone to stay on the show to get to the very end. I'm going to go ahead and say that, like, Joel is on some fuck shit. And Joel is really not looking for a relationship. At least in my opinion, I don't think so. He's looking for his 15 minutes of fame. Because I'm like, all right, Joel, like, what don't you understand? You said another woman's name. What don't you understand? Right? Just throw one log on there. So then Amber's in her feelings with AJ. Amber's in her feelings with AJ because, you know, they went out. They had a lovely group date. AJ gave her the soon as I get home, I'll make it up to you type kiss. And AJ kind of ghosted her for the past couple of days. So it's like, all right, AJ, where are you? I went through this breakup with Ron, or I let Ron know he's not ready to love. So where are you? And he was kind of like, go. So she's like, I have to, I gotta have a conversation with AJ because, I'm upset. And it's like, girl, what are you upset about? You went on a date. He didn't reach out to you in a couple of days. Like, don't be upset. Just realize, like, you were not that important. And if he hadn't reached out to you after a great date, then it's the dating world. Like, just like the interviewing for a job right now. Like, I've been on so many interviews. Like, you interview, you don't hear back for a couple of days, the job is not interested. The same thing with dating. Like, you reached out, you and AJ had a magical moment, he didn't reach out to you, he's obviously not digging you like that. But no, Miss Alexis Fly Jones needs answers. You know what I mean? So she did approach AJ. She did talk to AJ. And, AJ did what typical guys do, which is not give her a straight answer, which is like, you were not that important enough for me to respond to your text message. But they go back and forth. And AJ's like, are you good? And she's not good, but she says she's good, and she slithers off to wherever. But the group comes together, and they're doing a truth or dare. They're playing truth or dare, which most of the truth questions is like, it was kind of boring because a lot of the stuff we already knew. We already knew that, Jason is stuck between Kyra and Liz. Oh, by the way, Jason and Liz had a really lovely date. They talked. Jason was trying to be a gentleman. He didn't want to kiss anybody, until he figured out who his number one was. But the vibe and the sexiness and just, the Lizziness. And Jason was like, damn it, I can't take it anymore. And he plans a big one on Liz, and like they were kissing like they were competing for the kissing Olympics. Like they were both like just getting into it. Like, I'm trying to show you, I can show you better than I tell you how I feel for you. But anyway, fast forward, everyone's getting together, they're playing truth or dare, and it's like the same stuff. Like Jason is torn between Liz, and Jason is also torn between Kyra. One of AJ's questions were, who are you stuck in between? And it was no surprise, he's stuck between Alexis Fly and Kyra. And Kyra's over here looking like, really? The part two of the question was, what qualities of the women that are the strongest? And AJ, you are not fooling anyone. AJ did not give a specific answer. All AJ said was that Kyra is someone from his past and is familiar, but Alexis Sky is someone new, which is, there's an excitement because there's an uncertainty there. And Alexis Fly was like, I was really upset with AJ, because he didn't reach out to me. But hearing the kind words that he had to say, I'm like, all right, I'm not mad anymore. And it's like, Alexis, what kind words did he have to say? He really didn't say anything. He really didn't give an answer. I think Alexis Sky is so caught up with trying to be like, Alexis Fly Jones. I keep calling the child Alexis Sky. That's because Alexis Sky has a Luxe beauty bar that she opened 5 minutes away from my house that went out of business. So Alexis Sky is always going to be the top of my mind. But anyway, Alexis Fly is so flattered by the wonderful things that he said. I'm like, he didn't say anything wonderful. Alexis Fly Jones comes off as a pick-me chick. Pick me, pick me. I know I may not necessarily be in love, but I just want to be, I want to be picked. I want to win a competition. And even before that, Alexis mentioned that Kyra is being strategic. Kyra's playing Monopoly. She's playing checkers and a chess up in this bitch. And I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do. And that's what the dating game is. You have to be strategic. You can't just put your eggs in one basket. You have to cast a wide net and then strategically figure out who the best mate for you is. So I'm like, Alexis Fly, you mentioning Kyra being strategic, that again, that's coming off of some hateration. But anyway, Alexis Fly, you know, she's forgiven AJ for not reaching out to her simply because he said nothing or he didn't give anything specific in response to why he likes Alexis and Kyra. Child, okay, whatever. Jason is asked who he stuck in between, and Jason was honest, and Jason said it's Liz and Kyra. And again, Kyra is in her feelings, and Kyra saying, listen, if anyone asks me who my number one or who my top is, it is Jason. So for Jason to say that he's stuck between me and Liz makes me feel some kind of way. And again, this is what you chicks need to understand. You know, everyone's caught up on this show with the, am I your number one? Am I your top? That doesn't mean anything. It's a label. It's a label. At the end of the day, this is a game where everyone's dating. Everyone's trying to get to know one another. Meaning, just because Jason says that Kyra is my number one doesn't mean that he's going to end up with Kyra. It's just a label that means absolutely nothing. Dating is a game. Kyra, you play chess. Use an attorney. You should understand these nuances. You know what I mean? But, you know, Kyra was in her feelings. And it was really interesting because I'm like, oh, wow. Was it last week? I think it was last week where everyone was choosing Kyra. Girl, you have a couple of connections now. You're not as strong as you were this episode as you were a couple of episodes ago where everybody was professing their love for you, Kyra. So I was like, oh, child. But, all right, we get to the end of it. And the end of it, because they asked Liz and they also asked Alexis Fly Jones about them having to deliver the news to the respectives that they're not ready to love. And, you know, it was... You know, Liv gave us everything that happened, and we're like, all right, girl, yeah, that happened. Yeah, that happened. But Alexis says they flash over to Alexis in her confessional, and Alexis says, you know, I'm going to tell my truth. I'm like, girl, we all saw your truth. Why are you being so extra at this point in time? Well, she had a reason to be extra at this point in time. Alexis Fly reveals that as she's in the process of breaking up with Ron lets Alexis Fly know that not only has he been on a date with Amber, like, I was like, the fuck? Where did Amber come? What? Who said that? Portia, where did Amber come? Who said that? Where did Amber come from? But Alexis is giving us this tea, and I'm like, child, what? Alexis says not only has Ron been on a date with Amber, but Ron also kissed Amber as well. I said, oh, blood fire. Mes amis. Shout out to my Haitians. I'm like, holy crap. Amber's face was like, Amber says in her confessional, girl, I mean, I didn't know you were in your feelings. Stop. I didn't know you were in your feelings about all of this, but we could have had a conversation on the side. Everyone else is looking like, it seems as if Amber was on some Portia shit. But hold on, no, that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. Because Alexis Fly did call Amber out. But Alexis Fly, you have to understand, this is a game. This is a dating game. I don't care if Ron told you you are his number one. At the end of the day, he's still gonna date. At the end of the day, he's still gonna explore his connections. So I'm like, girl, that really was a good piece of tea, but that really doesn't mean anything. Listen, we're all looking at Amber like, oh, really, girl? You couldn't say anything? Chris is looking confused like, oh. Oh. But at the end of the day, Amber didn't do anything wrong. She didn't. Like, maybe she could have been more forthright with you. And Amber did say that, like, I've talked to you about Ron. We prayed together. I'm looking at you like a Judas. I don't really think it's that dramatic. Amber should have been more honest with you. And Amber, you really did play yourself. You really did play yourself. And the reason why you played yourself is because the beginning of the episode, you tried to blow up Joel's spot when your shit wasn't correct either. Like, girl, you were going out with Ron, who you knew your good Judy Alexis was checking for. A girl, bye. But at the same time, Alexis Fly, calm down. It's a dating game and nobody owes you anything. You know? It ended with a nice cliffhanger. And I'm glad no one got voted off, because we need to extend these episodes because we're enjoying it so much. But that was that. If you like my video, please like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Listen, I'm at like 816 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 1,000 to see if a chick can monetize this. So help me out, please, with a subscribe. And also, I write resumes. If you need resume help, I'll put my information in the description box. And look out for my new online store. I used to have a store on Etsy called Body Trust Beauty, and it's hair oils.
Cosmetics.
It was handmade cosmetics. Thank you, Simon. Handmade cosmetics. So I'm gonna launch that soon, and I'm hoping for you guys to support. All right, that was it. Until the fuckery of next week and the entertainment of next week. We thank you, the gods of OWN, and we thank you, Nephew Tommy, for bringing this salacious dating show to us. All right, guys, peace out. The sun is going down, and I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to make s'mores now because I'm full as hell, and I'm going to make s'mores. Peace out, guys.